Nigeria's coastal waterways, riverine settlements, mangrove systems are not merely cultural assets, they are economic assets capable of creating sustainable livelihoods and attracting global investment, of which we have some here present. The story of Warri itself demonstrates this reality. Having said that, Warri is not only an economic hub. It is a cultural gateway. It is a city where history, trade, traditions, and innovations have coexisted for centuries. The ministry knows of the rich heritage, the royal institution of Warri, traditional water-based livelihoods, the music, the arts, and the storytelling. Collectively, as a powerful cultural ecosystem within the tourism and investment sector. This aligns perfectly with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which recognizes culture, tourism, creative economy, and indeed other sectors as major pillars for economic diversification, youth empowerment, and national development. Under the leadership of my honorable minister, Hannatu Musa Esquire, we are already implementing several strategic initiatives aimed at transforming culture and tourism from social activities. This will be transformed into economic drivers capable of contributing significantly to the national GDP, creating jobs, strengthening Nigeria's global image. Distinguished guests, the intersection between blue economy and the creative economy presents enormous possibility. Imagine a riverine tourism circuit connecting coastal communities. Can you imagine that? Imagine annual maritime cultural festivals attracting visitors from across Africa and beyond. Which gladly I was happy, and I'm sure the team that visited the Olu of Warri heard from him the vision he has for cultural activities here in Warri. Imagine museums, heritage centers, water sports, cruise tourism, culinary tourism, eco-tourism, and cultural experiences built over and around waterways and coastal heritage. Imagine creative entrepreneurs producing films, documentaries, music, which is our soft power globally. Fashion, digital content inspired by our maritime history and traditions. This is the future we should envision. This is why cultural diplomacy must protect ecosystem, and create opportunities for generations yet unborn. Let us build a Nigeria where our rivers tell stories, our coastlines create prosperity, our heritage inspires innovation, and our diversity becomes a source of national strength. Let us build a Nigeria where culture and commerce work together. And this is why in the ministry we believe in this. And that's why in the Honorable Minister's delegation we have investors with us. Let us build a Nigeria where tourism and conversation advance side by side. Let us build a Nigeria where our oceans, waterways, and cultural treasures become engines of inclusive youth growth and sustainable development. In closing, I congratulate His Majesty, the Olu of Warri, the government of Delta State, and the organizing committee for this landmark initiative. As Nigerians, our diversity is our strength. Our culture is indeed our identity, and we can see that today here. Creative currency has just been ignited. Together, let us transform these assets into prosperity for our people and hope for future generations. May these deliberations of this summit produce recommendations, lasting partnerships, transformative investments that will benefit Warri, Delta State, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless the Kingdom of Warri. God bless Delta State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can do better than that. Please, let's put our hands together for the Honorable Minister of the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism, and Creative Economy. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things you would have observed from all who have come here to speak so far is the singular fact that when we talk about the blue economy, we are talking about the sustainable use and the conservation of the aquatic ecosystem. Those are very two powerful concepts that we will need to look into deeper in the course of today's summit, because it appears that in the realm of sustainability and conservation, Africa appears to be lagging behind. And that is why we are happy that His Imperial Majesty Ugame Atuache III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, is leading this chart and leading this conversation and leading this vision for us to start seeing things differently and start working not just for the present, but also for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, please, let's put our hands together for His Majesty. Quickly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to welcome our first keynote speaker, the Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Dr. Boyega Isaka Oyetola, who is here represented.
The third, the Olu of Warri, traditional rulers and communities. This informed the decision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to establish the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and entrust it with the responsibility of unlocking the full potentials of the sector. Since the ministry creation, the ministry has remained focused on promoting sustainable exploitation of marine resources, modernizing marine.
Ladies and gentlemen, while we are expecting the Omoko dancers to come, please allow me to also inform us that we have Chief Gabriel Awalaye, is the Unwangwe of Warri. Please let's put our hands together for him. Please, just a little modification while the Omoko dancers are setting the stage to entertain us. We want to please call on Dr. Temisa Omashaye, ex-NIMASA Director General, lead partner TRK Solicitors, Lagos, to come for his brief remark. Please, let's put the hands together for him.
For us here within the Warri Kingdom as it relates to the blue economy. I have taken time to study Nigeria as a country, and I believe that taxation is so exorbitant that it has made our solid mineral uncompetitive in the world. Now, government in its foresight or whatever they were doing decided to build a rail line called the Itakpe to Alaja line, which was supposed to move iron ore from Itakpe to Delta Steel. Unfortunately, that did not transpire, and we know in the transport sector that you cannot depend on human traffic movement on rail transportation to make the kind of money you require. Therefore, there is need for us to begin to see how we can do that. I have been following very closely, and I don't know how many of you have noticed what is going on in Guinea-Conakry, where the Chinese and Rio Tinto, the largest traders in iron ore, spent $20 billion in the investment of a mine, Somandol mine, and the Itakpe line to link up to the Ajaokuta line to create a spoke, a spinal cord. That is where a lot of investment comes in. Now let's talk about the Warri area. We have a problem. One, we have the Escravos Bar, and I'm sure all of you know about the breakwater, which is an 8-kilometer long stretch which was constructed. But unfortunately, in between that stretch, 2 kilometers of it have collapsed, which has led to the silting of the Escravos Bar, that there's a limitation of vessels that come into that area, which is now 5.9 meters. But irrespective of this fact, people are still investing. I have a friend, Mr. Mike Osime, who is building a 30,000 barrels per day refinery at Koko. His refinery will be importing every drop. The model he used was to import every drop of crude oil into Koko and export everything he has. But we have a challenge. One, we have a draft restriction at Escravos. And two, we have a major problem with the Nana Creek. The Nana Creek is so meandering that we cannot bring in large enough